More portal news. Let's start with Coach Yo and Ole Miss. The Rebels lost 6 players to the transfer portal, but they got 3 back. And with all due respect to the 6 that they lost, Latasha Lattimore alone makes up for the production that they lost, at least from a stats standpoint. Now, it was a lot of freshmen and sophomores on that list, so obviously there's a lot of room for growth. But getting back Latasha Lattimore, Jayla Murray, and Caitlin Peterson all in one day, Ole Miss is easily one of the early winners of the transfer portal. There's a few other players that have already committed to their new programs as well. Let's start with junior guard Gia Adams. She'll be playing with Tarleton State next season. Talia Scott, no longer with Auburn. She's now officially a Baylor Bear. Maya Kone, and I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Maya Kone, she's headed to Miami. She'll be playing with the Hurricanes. We have Brooke Blumenfeld, who's headed to the other Miami in Ohio. She'll be playing there next season. And then last but not least, we have Tyler Hurd, who is officially playing with Oklahoma State next season. That wraps up the list of the players who have found new homes, because I want to get to the news that shook up the room last night. And you guys all have already heard, I'm pretty sure. Olivia Miles chose not to go to the WNBA draft. She's not returning to Notre Dame. She chose door number 3. Now, I talked a lot during this season about certain players who were on WNBA draft boards who still had eligibility left, who I felt like shouldn't join the WNBA draft, either because they weren't ready yet from a development standpoint or just because of uncertainty with the WNBA CBA and their ability to earn more money, probably, potentially, on that next CBA. Players like Azzi Fudd, players like Janiah Barker. Olivia Miles was not on that list at all. Her being a projected number 2 pick, for sure, a lottery pick, even with some of the troubles that she had towards the end of the season, for sure she was going top 3 or 4. So I didn't see her coming back to college, but that is the case. In my opinion, it is a smart move as well, but caught me totally by surprise. You guys can let me know in the comments who you think she'll end up with, and do you think it was a smart move for her to not enter the draft? Let me know. We could talk about how this shakes up the draft and some of the players who were projected to go under her and where they could potentially go now, seeing as how most of the guards that were listed under her on mock draft boards were further down the list. We'll see how high they rise now that she's not going to be in the WNBA next season. We'll talk about that in a separate video, though. Like I said, right now, I have to get to another player who would have made the last video when I made the sniper list. I don't know if you guys watched that or if this is your first video, but on the previous transfer portal video, I made a list of snipers, not the entire video, but most of it. Players who were averaging about 40% from the 3-point line with some volume. Yarden Garzon, she definitely would have made that list if she was in the transfer portal at that time. She's leaving Indiana. She's going to be highly recruited, I'm sure. So that's another player that's a huge threat out there for another potential team. We also have Samaya Smith from LSU, formerly of LSU. She wasted no time after they got eliminated just this weekend in the Elite Eight. She's entered her name into the transfer portal. You can see her replacement, Grace Knox. She's going to be picking up those minutes. She'll be playing in that McDonald's All-American game that's today. Aaliyah Guyton, she's a huge player for Iowa. She was one of their biggest recruits coming into this season. She's entered that transfer portal, which is strange because Jada Williams was just on her official visit to Iowa, and I saw Leah Guyton in the comments bigging her up. Well, actually, she didn't big her up. She said, uh-oh. So I guess I know what uh-oh means now is, uh-oh, I'm getting out of there. She's not waiting to be replaced, so we'll find out where she goes pretty soon, I'm sure. And then rounding out the list for today, we have some sneaky good producers. Jasmine Shavers, Tony Morgan, Gabby Elliott, Faith Blackstone. 4 really good players there. They'll all either be seniors or super seniors next season, so a lot of experience there. There's some tournament experience as well. We saw them playing earlier. Didn't really make it too far, but they were in there. Then we have Haley Timmer, Mara Dykstra, Kesna Seacrest, and Phoenix Stodgen. My apologies if I butchered your name there, but we have those 4 also pretty good producers. They've entered the transfer portal. And to end the list for today, we have Janiah Tucker, Jemiah Harris, Justice Odom, and Fanta Gassama. Those are all names that you might not be as familiar with, but as I've said in previous videos, depending on what teams they land with, you'll probably be more familiar with those names next year. We saw that happen with players like Tamara Poindexter at K-State this season, so good luck to them and their future teams. I have a lot more names to be honest with you guys, but the analytics say if I give you any much more than this, then I'll start to lose you. So I'll cut this list off right here. I will be back with more after the McDonald's All-American game. Huge shout out to all the new members and subscribers. Appreciate you guys a lot. Catch you guys on the next video. Until then,